success.
What key is that?
Produce or provide
key
something
to
more
success.
or of higher quality than what is expected. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Thomas.
No, it's not. It's a long story.
Oh,
And the same old story. All right, so Veronica Escobar was nice enough to forward me a link to a blog post. That was about, this is a misquote, but the gist was, is SEO not affordable by a sole practitioner? You know, do you have to be a big company making tons of money, printing money, in order to afford SEO? So I did this presentation, which we'll have copies of, about things that you can do. Now, there's no getting away from it. If you're not paying, then you're putting in some time. You know, if you don't want to put in some time, well, then you're going to have to pay. But even if you ended up paying for this, this is not horribly expensive. Okay? All right. Now, this is not the latest thing that's happening in SEO. In fact, the stuff covered in my presentation is really old hat. This is from a couple of years ago, but it still works. Blogging, getting the word out on your business by having a particular blog that posts, that focuses on one aspect of your business. For instance, if Carrie was to be blogging, and I know you do, you could do something on agricultural law this time, which would not touch the other areas of practice. Perhaps it'd be matrimonial law next time. You know, so you can focus on one particular thing that you do, okay? All right, so that's blogging. I'll get back to that in a second. The news in the SEO world is Facebook has been downgraded. They're eliminating some things from the news feed. So if you are spending a lot of time posting on Facebook, you would probably be more productive spending that time on blogging, okay? Don't give it up entirely, don't throw it totally overboard, but it ain't what it used to be. Why is that, Tom? Well, I'll tell you. It's because Google is making, they're printing money. They're making a ridiculous amount of money by selling paid advertising. So last year, right about this time, Facebook started phasing over. I mean, they had plenty of money to begin with, but they looked at that and went, oh, look at how much money Google has. Why don't we do some of that? So they started moving into paid advertising. So now this puts Google in the position of, well, do we just support their paid advertising, or, you know, what do we do here? So the days of getting a whole lot of SEO bang for your no buck, you know, free SEO bang out of Facebook, it's done. Sorry to say, sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but that's over with, okay? Now, that doesn't mean you should just stop, okay? You should continue to post to Facebook or to whatever social media you like to post on, but it's not, don't expect the results that you used to get out of that. Oh, and as long as I'm talking about Facebook, which is not on this, but I ran into a client that had a misunderstanding. The idea that you're supposed to get personally involved on social media. In other words, if you're a Yankees fan, you should talk about the Yankees. You know, not all the time, but mention it. You know, bring a little bit of your personality into your social media, right? Be a little social. So that was misinterpreted as like repeating office gossip. Well, Jenny, she used to be going out with Michael, but now she's going out with this guy Stu, and I don't know about this Stu. I mean, just all this, that is not helping your cause, okay? If you want to say that your favorite movie is Apocalypse Now, or you want to, talk about the New York City Ballet or anything like that, that's fine. Put a little personality in it, but don't get away from the core, which is engaging people and interesting people in that voodoo that you do, okay? You don't want to get all into gossip and personal stuff. That's too much the other way. All right, so enough about that. Back to blogging. So what's a good thing to put on a blog? What's going to help you? Actually, you probably already have it. It's probably already on your computer. Since the article that Veronica sent me was primarily about attorneys, to start with them, okay? Chances are you've had to research something, some particular area of law, and you really did a good job on this, and you made, you did the write-up for the client, and it's a stew. It really is. It's a good study of this particular thing. You got it taped. Other people have now quoted you, perhaps you got it printed someplace. That particular work that you did for that client You can take out anything that refers to the actual client. You can genericize it, if that's a word, you know, like, so you're not betraying any personal confidence, okay? But you can use that information that you put all this work into already, and you can turn that into a blog post. So yeah, now how would this apply to other people who are not attorneys? Well, you put out a promo piece that got a great response. That could be turned into a blog post. You wrote a letter to a client where the client got this letter and went, oh my God, what a fool I've been. Here, let me give you money, right? That is a great letter. You know, these different things that you've done over the years, you've already put the work into it. You've already even tested it and you've gotten a good response. You can turn it into a blog post, okay? Just a little update. If there's any personal references or anything like that, you want to remove that, you know, because work that you did for a client is work that belongs to the client. But the research you did, that's yours. You own that. So you're just getting more bang for your buck, okay? So that's other areas besides blogging. Now, how much time should this take? You want to post to your blog twice a week, shoot for twice. That'll probably come down to once because everybody gets busy, right? How long is once going to take? Figure an hour and a half to find that good article you wrote, to find that successful promo piece, and to turn it into something generic that you can post to your blog, right? So, yeah, that ought to do it, okay? Now, miscellaneous time with you know, putting it on your blog and getting all that done, get another half hour. So you're looking at an hour and a half to 2 hours per blog post. Not terrible. Not terrible. Hiring somebody to do that for you, also not horribly expensive. We're not talking about thousands of dollars a week, right? And there's a number of fine services, including mine, that would do that for you, okay? All right, so that's posting to your blog. Oh, now once you post things to your blog, right? What then? Anytime you post to a blog, it's got its own URL. You know, the address? Every single post on a blog has got its own specific web address. You can take that address, make a comment, like new post about goats, and put it on Facebook, put it on Google+, you know, put it wherever you want to put it. All right, so that's the idea. So you can take that link and you can splash that all over your social media. I have 2 minutes? Okay. Throw up a gang sign. Okay, all right, that's good. I was scared there for a moment. All right, so other things that Google likes you to put on your blog. They want you to share your expertise because this is what people look. All right, so Google, in terms of what they publicly tell you, is they want to provide a rich and rewarding search experience so that you'll find what you were looking for. You'll be very happy with that, and the next time you want to search for something, you'll use Google. That's what they say publicly. The truth is, they want to make money for their shareholders, okay? So, what does Google like for you to do? They like for you to share your expertise. If you're a dentist, they want to see how to keep your teeth for life, how to teach your kids to brush their teeth, you know, how to have that Hollywood spa, that sort of thing, okay? If you're a CPA, how to keep more of your money and give less to the IRS, you know? If you're selling New York real estate, then it could be things you should do when scouting for where you want to live in New York. You know, simple stuff, and again, you don't want to provide free consulting, but you do want to share your expertise. So it should be enough that someone could find it useful, but they're still going to need to call you, right? So you're giving value, you're engaging people, you're providing useful information, but you're not just, all right, so here's everything you need to know about how to buy New York real estate. So it starts like this, and it's a 9,000 word post. You don't need to do that. That's not needed. That's not wanted. Actually, they'd probably end up calling you anyway, you know, because who's going to go through all this stuff, right? So I'll wrap it up here by saying thank you so much. If you want to discuss this further, let's do it one-on-one, okay?
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.